Hello everyone, hello creators. I hope you all are doing excellent at your end and welcome to the party. Today we are going to make some cool filters, turning your imagination into some reality using the Spark AR tool. So Spark AR basically an initiative of Reskill partner with Meta, and today we are going to make a emitter filter with our expert Spark AR creator Munang Prawar, and he'll be taking you further from here. He'll be making a step-to-step guide how you can create a filter and how you can publish the filter too. So over to you, Manang. So happy
Thank you so
creation.
much, Lakshit. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And I am very excited to conduct this session on Spark AR and looking forward to what people are going to create after attending this session. Great. So let me just quickly share my screen.
Sure. Perfect. It's visible. Yeah, good.
Great. Cool. So basically, today we are going to create an advanced capability filter. Like we are going to use emitters for creating today's filter. So I hope you all have installed Spark Air Studio. If not, then you can download it by just typing or searching on Google that Spark Air Studio download, and you can download the Spark Air Studio. This is the place where actually we are going to develop a filter, right? So I will just quickly, we are going to start from a blank project. So I will quickly just set up the blank project. Cool. So this is the blank project, and this is the interface of Spark Air Studio. So basically, I will just quickly help you to understand what is Spark AR and what is augmented reality, right? So augmented reality, we can say, it is an imagination, or we can say we are trying to imagine a particular thing which is not there in reality, but we are able to see it, right? So for example, what we are going to create today is like something is raining, or something is being emitted from a certain point or from a certain thing which is not actually present in real life or in real world, but it's able to be seen to our eyes, right? So that's the magic of AR. uh, Most of you might have heard about metaverse. So it's a blooming technology, or it's a blooming field right now. Most of the people are getting involved into web3, uh, creating metaverse projects and all those things, right? So today we are going to create such an effect which uses the advanced capability of emitter or particle system, we can say. And I will request you all to follow along with me. And at the end of the session, at the end of the tutorial, you will be able to have created a amazing air filter which you can publish and showcase to the world. Your friends can use that filter, share it on their stories, create some reels, right? So what is Spark Air? So Spark Air is an tool which you can use to create and develop amazing immersive air filters, right? So Spark Air has two to three things. First one is Spark Air Studio. The second one is Spark Air Player. So this one that you can see on my screen is Spark Air Studio, which we use for creating or developing the air filters. Actually, Spark Air Player is used to visualize or check how your filter is working on your mobile devices, right? So that's the main reason of using Spark Air Player. If you don't have Spark Air Player, then you can use Instagram or Facebook is connected by default when you sign in on Spark Air Studio. So you can just send a preview link to Spark Air Play to your Instagram or Facebook account, and you can just try to your filter from there. Right. Just give me a moment. So, how many of you have Spark Air Studio? previously worked with Spark AR or have created any AR effects on Spark AR? Just put it in the comments. So today we are not going to have any prerequisites. We are going to work from scratch. So no need to worry about it. Like, do I need to have any previous Spark AR knowledge? So you don't need anything. You just need to have Spark AR Studio downloaded on your device or on your system. And the second thing is that you will need an image which you can get from one link I will share in the description box. So cool. So quickly, let's get started with the tour of Spark Air Studio. So in Spark Air Studio, we have the on the extreme left side, we have a few options here. Like the first one is video. What video allows us is to have some demo videos or simulation videos which are provided by Facebook or Meta. So here are a few of them. You can use your own camera, right? Then the second one is play and pause button, which is useful when you are trying to develop an AR filter. There is at some times you need to pause the video itself, right? For placing an object at a particular position. So you need to pause the video at that point of time. So for that, you can just pause and play using this button, then restart. So what happens sometimes, you create an air filter which has a capability that something will happen just for a few first few 5 seconds or 3 seconds. It's a really a very short span of time, right? So during that short span of time, it's not possible for us to uh, keep an eye on the video itself. So then there is a taste on device. So taste on device feature is used to actually try out your filter, right? I told you, like, a Spark Air player is there, and the other way is you can use your Instagram or Facebook to receive a notification, and you can just easily try out your filter on Instagram or Facebook app. Then comes the publish button. You have, if you want to publish your AR effect so that anyone in the world can use your effect, so you need to publish it onto the socials like Instagram, Facebook, and all these things. Cool. Then here, let's first set up the project properties. So I will click on change project properties. Now here it's asking for experiences. So experiences basically means, if it is a sharing experience, it means that it's used for sharing it on stories, creating reels, and all those things, right? So when you click on add experience, you will be able to see three options: sharing experience, ads, and video calling, right? So video calling, like you can use it on Messenger or Instagram video calling. So today we are going to create an effect which is a sharing experience. So click on insert and done. Great. Now we are not going to use the lights today. So I can just simply remove it. Cool. So how many of you are excited to like get started with creating the filter? Till then, I will just quickly uh, give you a walkthrough of the scene panel and the properties. So scene panel, like there are various objects like plane, rectangle, then emitter system or the particle system. You can see all those things here. Face tracker is there, objects are there, then 2D text, lights are there, particle system is there, right? So all those things come into your scene panel. Then there is a layers section of how the layers are going to appear onto your filter. Then there is the assets panel where you are going to import the images that we are using in our filter, right? Then this is the viewport. You can span through your viewport like this using the command or control on to your system, and our filter is working right now. And on the right side there is the properties plane. So in the properties you can see or play with values. You can scale, rotate, transform it into some different size, shape and size. We are going to change the shapes and sizes of it in the properties plane. So without any further ado, I will just quickly get started with creating the filter. Okay. So I have downloaded an image that I am going to import right now in the assets panel. So in the assets, you can see the option of import from computer. Click on from computer. uh, just a moment. I will use this image. Click on open. So I'm going to use this image of Dodge. Cool. So when you import a texture, so Spark AR automatically starts its compression, because what is the thing, we get a very limited space or limited storage for creating the air effect, like it's around 4 MB or something. So it starts the compression immediately. So it's a personal choice. If you want, you can keep it on automatic, or you can just compress it outside of it, like compress it and then import the texture. Or it's fine, we are just going to use one texture, so we can work with it like without compression as well, right? So this is the texture. Now I have imported the texture in, right? So I think everyone might be able to have been importing the texture successfully. Now what we are going to use is, we are going to use Spark, Spark AR automatic compression.
So guys, let's wait for Manak. He is having some network glitch, so he'll be joining in couple of minutes. Unless and until you have any doubts regarding this Power Care program, so let me share the submission form with you all. So you have to submit your, link over here. So this is the link where you have to submit your Spark Care filter. So yeah, so hi Aniket, hi Mridul. So you have to submit your Spark Care. Munang will be your Spark Care creator. Munang will be joining in couple of minutes. So you have to submit a Spark Care filter over here, and for that you have to create a Spark Care filter. You have to publish it, and you have to put some effect ID, owner ID, shareable link, and a demo video too. You have to share. And if anyone has any doubt regarding the Spark Care, so Munang was teaching about the particle system and diameter system. So what it looks like to work with particle system, let me give just a brief until Manang reaches. So it's like it basically can just add two textures over there, two planes, or two emitters over there, so that first emitter is just detecting your force face, meaning basically your foreground. This is what face track, it is you're tracking your face. Now the first emitter that you are using, it may be going upward, and you can just scale it according to your, you can position it anywhere whenever you want. Suppose if you want to put some droplets, if you want to have some raindrops over there, then obviously raindrops can't go upwards, you have to put it downward also. So what you are doing is you are just putting some emitter, you are just adjusting some scale, you are adjusting the emitter position through this spark here, and the emitter is going upwards. Okay, so likewise again, the next thing is going downwards when it comes to cloud. So cloud can go downwards because no, I'm sorry, cloud can go upwards because that is evaporation is coming up and all these things are taking place. So yeah, obviously the cloud can go upwards also. Now what is happening here, so let me share my screen and let me tell you how these things are happening. So it is very simple. Yes, so suppose let me show you how we can do this. Suppose this is your camera, this is your phone. Okay guys, this is your camera. Just I can't make here in 3D, so beg my pardon. So what we are doing is this is basically your screen. Okay, this is your screen. So with this spark your filter, what we are creating, we are making this screen. This is where our spark your filters lies. If I have to write this one, okay, not the text, okay, I'm just this is where your spark your filter lies, or your spark your lies within this. Now what we are doing in the emitter one, we are putting two screens there. First is your foreground, next is your background. Now what we are doing, we are just putting some, okay, so what we are doing, we are putting one, adding one extra background image here. No, background won't be here, background will be here. This background is, okay, this background is background of the effect between you and the filter. This is not the effect between you and the camera, this is between the you and the filter. This background is between you and filter. So how we are creating this, we are just, okay, so let me show you how we are doing this. Okay, let me, okay, Mranank is here. Perfect. Mranank will tell you how we are doing this. Yeah, Mranank, so over to you, Mranank. So I was just telling what we are going to
Yeah, sorry for the
discuss.
inconvenience.
So no worries, Mranank, over to you. Yeah, yeah, your screen is visible. Perfect, yes, it's visible.
So let's say, can you tell me where I was? Actually, I was just I went on explaining. I was just doing these things. I think I imported the dodgy in the texture panel. So I was just explaining how it works, how the hierarchy works of it, right? So in the scene panel, we are going to add a plane. I'm just explaining you how is the hierarchy work in Spark AR. So I will edit the name of this plane as the plane. Plane will be the foreground plane. Cool. I will add a material to it. I will add. material to this as well. This is the PG mat. This is the foreground material. So now I will add change the color of the background.
Manank is facing some bad internet connection. So what he's telling you about, how to import the texture, the Spark here. So he'll be joining in, yeah. So yeah, so he'll be joining in a couple of yeah. So he's just fixing his internet connection. So anyone has any doubt, tell them so they can show up here. So basically regarding the School of Air program, let me tell you a brief about School of Air program. So Spark Air will obviously Rank will take over the call. So School of Air program is an initiative of Reskill powered by Meta. So what we are doing is we are we are reaching out to multiple colleges, multiple communities to get start with their spark timing and just turn your imagination into the reality world. So in the School of AI program you will be given two assignments, and one assignment you have already we have already shared the link with of one assignment, the mail of one for the one assignment, and here is the submission link. So those who are very new to the submission link, so let me tell you, so Manank will tell you how to submit your Spark filter. So you can submit your AR filter through this link, and what you can do, you can just create one filter using the assignment, and then the assignment you have some details mentioned over there, like you have to put some raindrops over there, you have to use the emitter, you have to use the foreground background, you have to do so. Basically Manank will tell you how to make that filter today only. But yeah, so Manank is here. So I was just telling them about this course. Those the second assignment you will be getting, it will be in the June. So in June, you will be getting the second assignment, and then you have to submit your second assignment too. So that's it from my side. So otherwise, Manang, you can just take it over. Thank you, Manang. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's visible. Your screen is visible. Yeah, perfect.
cool. So now here you can see how the hierarchy is working. On the top we have the background plane, and on the bottom we have foreground plane. So Spark starts rendering from the bottom, right? So firstly we will be able to see the foreground plane and then the background plane. And I have added the particular layers, like foreground plane is having the foreground layer and background plane is having the background layer, right? Now if I change the sequence in the layer section, you will be able to see that this hierarchy in the scene panel is overridden. uh, Firstly we were able to see the foreground plane in front of the background plane, right? But now it's not possible because the layers try to override the conditions in the scene panel. Okay, so that's why you are able to see foreground plane before the background layer. So just wanted to tell you this for the hierarchy because it's very important to understand which how Spark renders your objects, right? So that's the main reason I was trying to explain this. Right, I will just remove it and we will start creating our filter that we are going to create today. Yeah, cool. We are going to firstly add a particle system to our scene panel. Just search for particle system and click on insert. Cool. I will just rename it to background emitter. Okay. So it's always a good practice to keep on renaming the objects or textures, materials that you are adding to a project, because when you get a lot of objects into a scene panel, or when you try to import a lot of materials, it becomes a bit of difficult job for us to figure out what actually, which is which material, right? So that's the reason we are trying to rename it on time. Okay, so now I have imported the background emitter. You can see it here, right? So we will start with the properties. So position. So position means you can either change the position of it by just clicking on the axis and moving it in the y-axis, x-axis, or z-axis as per your wish, right? Now I will be keeping x and z as the same, and let's put the y-axis to minus 1.5 maybe, right? So now you can't see it in the simulator, but in the viewport you are able to see it that it went to the bottom, right? It's right here. So we can see it right now in the viewport only. Cool. So now what I will do is you can scale the complete particle system, right? With the help of the scaling option, that is x, y, and z axis. You can rotate the particle system if you want. Then there are various types of emitter, like point is there, line, plane, ring. So now I will show you what we can do is, for now let's keep it on the top, so it will be easy for you to understand. So what emitter type point means is, it's emitting, the particles are emitting from a single point, right? If I change it to line, the particles will emit from a line. You can change the length of the line, like if you want a complete wide line, then you can change its length. The third one is plane. What plane does is, if you see it from the top view, I will quickly zoom in a little bit. So if you see, it's a square or it's a plane from where the particles are trying to get emitted, right? Uh, Now, if I change it to ring, the particles are getting emitted from a ring which has a particular radius, right? So for today's filter, we are going to use a ring. Okay. Now I will just send the emitter to the bottom, minus 1.5 maybe. Okay, so now I have selected the ring type of emitter. Now I will just change its radius in the patch editor, right? So patch editor basically is a feature which helps you to create patches, edit the values, and use those in your AR effects, right? So I will quickly change the radius. I will show you how it's getting affected. Okay, so now the radius, if we change it to 3, now you can see the particles are getting emitted in the radius of 3, right? If I make it a little more bigger, so you can see the particles are getting emitted from the radius of 7. Let's change the y to 5. Okay, so now I have changed the radius, and we are going to create the world effect. So the space will be world. There are two options, local and world, right? Birth rate. So what is birth rate? Birth rate means at what rate the particles are going to get emitted, or at what rate the particles are going to get born onto your from your particle system, right? So for the moment we have it 20. Let's change it to 30. So now you can see more particles are getting emitted, right? Spray angle. So we will be changing the spray angle. Spray angle is used just to generate the randomness in your filter, because you can see right now there are a few particles getting generated. They are just coming and then dying immediately, right? So we want those to come a little inside, a little outside. So we will change this triangle to 30 with the variation of 10, right? So for now we are enough with the, we are okay with the speed. Then warm up. So what is warm up? What warm up does is, when we start a filter, as now we have the particle system at the bottom of a screen, right? So the particles will take a time to come from the bottom and reach to our screen. So that's the reason where we will give it our filter a warm up of 30 seconds maybe. So when I restart the filter, the particles are present there, right? So now you can see the a few particles here, right? I will just change its scale so it's visible for you. Okay, now you can see the particles, right? So as soon as I refresh the filter, they are present there. But if we don't have the warm up, then the particles will take time to reach to our screen from the bottom. Cool. So then I will just change it back to, maybe you can increase it a little bit, not much. Okay. Now the lifespan. So lifespan is the duration for which the particles are staying on to the screen or onto the display. So we will change its lifespan to 30 seconds. Now you can see the particles will reach till the at the top of the screen as well. Firstly, what happened? They were coming, they were getting emitted, and then they were dying immediately, right? So now they will stay for a longer time. Okay, so now you can see the particles are going up. Okay, that's about the lifespan. Then as you can see, they are just moving straight, right? They are not moving or rotating in any axis. So using the spin and tilt, what we will do is, they will rotate around themselves, right, around their own axis. So let's say we give a spin of 30 and the variation will be 40. We will give a low tilt variation 30 and say 10. Okay, so now if I refresh it, now you can see they are rotating as well around their own axis, right? So they are looking like they are going to the sky from the bottom. Okay, this is how it looks right now. Cool. Till this point, anyone has any doubt, let me know. I will just try to figure it out. Cool. So now we have the emitter ready. Let's see if we have any more properties that we can change. Okay, so acceleration. They are moving with a constant speed. I want to provide them some acceleration. So I will just put a tick on acceleration and take the strength into the patch editor. So now what I will do is, I want them to, now as you can see, as soon as I clicked on the acceleration, all the particles started moving downwards from the top, right? So I will make them to go upside without it's negative. That's the reason they are going below. I want them to move upwards, right? So now you can see they are going up. Okay, and now I will change its speed to, maybe we can see 0.5. Now they are moving in a good speed as well. Okay, cool. So now they are the particles are moving up. Okay, we have added acceleration to it. So now what we will do is, we are done with the editing the emitter or editing the particle system, right? Now we will add the image to it. So we will add a material. In the properties you can see material here, just click on plus sign, and now you can see a black, all the particles have changed into the black color, right? So we will change the material, rename it first to EG matte. Okay, now I will change its shader type to flat. So why I am changing the shader type from standard to flat is, what happens when, uh, initially there were two lights, right? They emit, which give you ambient light, ambience light was there. Okay, ambient light was there and directional light was there. So because of that, they were putting the light on our particles, but as we removed them, so it doesn't have any particular light to get emitted on the particles, right? So that's the reason it was not visible and it was looking complete black. So I changed the shader type to flat, so it does not affect on any light that is getting emitted. It just shows its own colors, right? Now we will add the texture to it. The texture that we are going to use is this image, the dodge image. So VG matte, then texture, and select the dodge. So it's too small for us right now. We will just scale it. In the scale of the particle, we can say 0. Uh, 10, 0.1, okay, 0.15, 0.20. Cool. 0.20 looks pretty nice right now. But the thing is, okay, so there's a lot of clutter in front of my face. I don't want, what I want to do right now is, I want to add this dodge sticker behind, or I want it in the background and not in front of my face. So for that we need to segment a person from the background, right? So we will do that right now. Till this point, anyone is having any problem, or you are good? Just let me know in the comments. I'm assuming everyone is good till this point. So now let's do the segmentation part, right? So now what we want to do is, we want to segment the person, and we want this emitter to be running on the background, right? So for that, what we will do is, we will extract two textures. One is the texture extraction. What it does is, it will provide what the camera is trying to see, and it will extract that, the camera texture, right? Just click on the plus sign in front of texture extraction, right? So we have the camera texture in the textures. Now what we will do is, just a moment, go to camera, then we will segment the, in the segmentation there are three types. One is person, the second is hair, and third is skin. So we are going to use the person segmentation, sorry. Okay, so now we have got the two textures. One is camera texture, the second is person segmentation, right? Now, as I mentioned, we are going to create a world AR effect. So, background emitter being in the device, what it does is, if you are holding the mobile phone onto your hand, and if you move the mobile phone in some other direction, these particles will move as well with you. Okay, but as we are going to create a world effect, so what we want to do is, these particles should be present in the world. Okay, you should be able to see them present, uh, despite of the camera motion, right? So we will just drag this background emitter and pull it complete at the bottom below the microphone so that it comes outside the device. Okay, so now if I close the drop down of the device, you can see background emitter is below the device section, right? Cool. So now the background emitter is outside the device, and now we will create the segmentation thing. So I will click on add object. I will import one object rectangle. Okay, click on insert. Yeah. So now you can see a small rectangle on the top left corner. So what we are going to do is we will rename it to user. Okay. Now I want to change its width and height to full size of my screen, full size of my device. So I will just click on full width, full height. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So now I have my user, and I will just delete this and add all this. Yeah. Cool. So I have the user rectangle on my screen displayed in the entire section. I will add a material to it and rename that material to user mat. So I have renamed it to user material. Then I will change the shader type to flat. Okay. So now what we want to do is now I can't see my face onto the simulator, right? So for that purpose, I need to add the texture to it. That is the camera texture. As I said, camera texture will help you to uh, extract what the camera is showing and display it onto your device, right? So I will add the camera texture here. Now I can see the screen, or I can see myself onto the simulator, right? Then we will just click on the alpha and then add the alpha texture to segmentation mask, right? Cool. Now you can see that the what we did is we just created a user material, then added the camera texture and to the main texture. Then onto the alpha, we added the texture of segmentation mask. Right now, what I want is I want these particles to get emitted in the background. So I will add one more rectangle to the canvas. Rectangle. Okay. I will say this as background. Again, I want it to fill the complete device. So fill width and fill height. Now I will add one more material to it. I will create a new material. Call this as background background mat. I will rename this as emitter or particle material. Okay. So background mat. Now I will change its properties from standard to flat. Okay. Now what we want to do is uh, let's let me just change it. Okay. We will add some color to it. Okay, and change its opacity. Cool. User mat, and now I want to create a different layer for the user because my background emitter will be in the background layer, but I want the user on a different layer, right? So I will just create a new layer here, and I will edit the layer name to user layer. So now I have the user layer onto my screen, and you can see the color that we applied is in the background only and not for my face. It's not getting applied to my face, right? What I will do is I will show the complete. Okay, now you can see the color is getting applied only for the background and not for my face. So now I will change this back to let's say 40% opacity or 30%. Cool. It's fine for me now. Now what we are going to do is we are able to segment the person and the background, but we are not able to see these emitters or these particles, right? So we will change one property of all these three materials. You can just select all these three by clicking on shift button and selecting all these three. Then click on the advanced render options, and then uncheck the use depth, right? As soon as I uncheck the use depth, you can see the those particles are coming from my background, and they are not coming in front of my face, right? So what use depth does is it checks out the depth from the camera device or from the camera to your face, right? So because of the depth, we were not able to see the particles that were getting emitted from the particle system, right? Now we are able to see it perfectly. So this was the main filter that we were trying to create today, and now you can see the particles are getting emitted and they are moving upwards. You can see it in the here as well. Okay, so now this is the main filter that we plan to create today. I hope everyone got a good idea of how we created this filter. So this video will be on YouTube, so you can come back and check it out. If you have any doubt, you can try to text me if you get stuck at any particular point. Okay, so you can test this on your device by just sending a link, preview link on your socials, or if you have the Spark Air Player download on your mobile devices, you can send the link as well onto the Spark Air Player. And for publishing, so now you have created the filter and it's the time to publish your air effect, so the entire world can use your filter, right? So you can just click on publish. Okay, just add it to the doc. Just give me a moment. Yeah, now once you click on publish, you will be able to see a few options. It's a publish new effect, or you are updating your existing effect. So we are trying to publish a new effect, so click on publish new effect. Then as a pre-publishing process, you need to get hang of around 2 to 3 things. First is recording a small demo video which showcases what your filter does, right? So you need to have a demo video handy with you. So once you have the demo video ready, you are good to go. Then will need a small logo. Okay, the logo will show you the logo will be shown onto the Instagram or on the Facebook. The small circle you can see, right? While choosing the effects, so there your logo will be shown. And these are the main two things that you need to keep handy while publishing the effect. Once you are ready with those things, you can just click on upload, and it will redirect you to Spark Air Hub. And then you can just fill in the details like what is the name of your effect, add the demo video. Then once you add the demo video, then it will ask you for the logo and more things like what type of filter you have created. It's related to education, it's related to sports, it's related to entertainment, what kind of filter it is. And once you click on publish, the Spark Air team will review your effect. And once it's passed the review effect, if you follow all the rules, then it will get accepted, and you can share the link with your friends and family, so they can use your effect and create videos, share it on stories, share it on reels. So that's all about the session. I hope you all enjoyed, and it was helpful for you to create the air effect.
So yeah, so thank you, Anand. Thank you for giving your spark insights, your greater insights with and sharing all the greater insights with us. It was very nice interacting with, and the hands-on session is the best part in Spark here because it is very easy to use. Spark here is basically it's not about when someone gets overwhelmed about coding and all these parts. So Spark here it a good escape for all of them. So yes, if you are a creator, if you are a creator enthusiast, definitely should go for Spark here, and you can make best career out of it. And there are a lot of opportunities now in augmented reality. We are shifting a bit towards metaverse. We are creating a metaverse, building metaverse. So obviously there are a lot of opportunities right now and will be opening in future. And you will see some of the creators like some of us where we are creating some turning imagination into reality. So join us, make some cool filters, tag us on our social handles so that we can also evangelize your content that you are putting in, the efforts you are putting in. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining again. So here is the submission form link that I am already highlighting to your screen. So do click on this submission form link. You have to fill your owner ID, fact ID, your shareable link, your demo video. So you'll be getting all these credentials only after when you will your Spark Gear filter get reviewed and successfully deployed to this Spark Gear hub. So that is what you have to do. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. And thank you, Manna. Thank you for sharing your
Thank you.
insights. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you, everyone.